Hari Om, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. Welcome back to our weekly Vedanta classes. Let's get started. Om. 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 Ganana antva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatan Shunvannutibisse dasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajini Dhinama Vityavat Om Ganeshaya Namaha Om Saraswatyai Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shuklam Varadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Vagishadya Sumanasah Sarvartanam Upakrame Yam Natva Kritakritya Syuhu Tam Namami Gajananam Vakratunda Mahakaya कोटि सूर्य समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणे विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मानन्दम् परमसुखदम् केवलम् ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतम् गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Vedanta classes. With Bhagwan's grace and our Guru Parampara's blessings, we were fortunate to complete our study of the classic text of Viveka Chudamani. Before we started our next study series in this Saturday classes, there were a few questions in our interactive sessions and request if I can talk about the topic of mind and some purification techniques for our sadhana. So I wanted to make a humble attempt to present some ideas. Depending on the stage of the sadhana you are in, you can adapt these techniques. So I say, just have an open mind and listen. Before we immerse our mind on the topic, let us first calm our mind with Pratasmaranam. As a group, we have learned this already, so just chant along. Pratasmarami hृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखम् परमहं सगतिं तुरीयम् यत्स्वप्नजागरसुषुप्तमवैति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कळमहम् न च भूतसङ्घः प्रातर्भजामि मनसा वचसामगम्यम् वाचो विभान्ति निखिला यदनुग्रहेण यन्नेति नेतिवचनैः निगमा अवोचुः तं देवदेवमजमच्युत माहुरज्ञम् प्रातर्नमामि तमसः परमर्कवर्णम् पूर्णं सनातनपदम् पुरुषोत्तमाख्यम् यस्मिन्निदम् जगदशेषमशेषमूर्तौ रज्ज्वां भुजङ्गमयिव प्रतिभासितं वै रज्ज्वां भुजङ्गमयिव प्रतिभासितं वै. It's a very interesting topic today. So you don't need any other preparation, just very fundamentals of Vedanta is enough. You know, some scientists, they say mind is matter. Some scientists say it is not matter. But for a Vedantin, it does not matter. The problem of the mind and its control is very relevant in all walks of our life, whether I want to be successful in my secular pursuits or in my spiritual sadhana. See, in the automotive industry, when we design a car to meet the federal safety requirements, crash requirements, what do? We aim to make the car roadworthy. Similarly, in the aircraft industry, we design to meet the federal aviation requirements to make the aircraft flight worthy. But what about our mind? Everybody wants to do meditation. It's become a taboo. But is my mind meditation worthy? Why is it giving me so much trouble? Unfortunately, we seem to care about our state of mind only when we are going through an emotional crisis of some sort. We might go to the gym to maintain our body, but the state of mind we don't care much about. Half the time, we do not understand the root cause of our problems with the mind. So, in Amrita Bindu Upanishad, the disciple asked this very same question to the Guru. What is this mind that seems to give me endless troubles? How can we control it? मनो हि द्विविधं प्रोक्तम् शुद्धं च शुद्धमेव च अशुद्धं कामसंकल्पं शुद्धं कामविवर्जितम्. And the Guru says, mind is of two types. One is kama sankalpam, impure mind, ashuddha, with thoughts of desires, and the other type is kama vivarjitam, the one without desires. So the Guru starts the dialogue with what is manaha. Mana, that is where the word manushya, or the English word man, comes from, meaning the ability to think. That is what differentiates us from the animals. Vashyati iti pashu. Because animals lead a life of instinctive behavior. We saw all of the details in our study of Viveka Chudamani, how Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji glorified the importance of this Nara Janma, this human birth, Because as the crown jewel of creation, we have the ability to think not just what is right or wrong on the moral plane, because that's very fundamental, not just what is dharma and adharma on the dharmic plane, what is righteousness or what is unrighteousness, but human mind is capable of divine and noble pursuits. That is where we elevate it from the Darwinian evolution to that is what Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji gives us the ability to seek the real. And humans alone can ask or ponder on the questions as to who am I? What is the purpose of my life? So, what is this mind? So, in Vedanta, we just say it is an inner instrument, antakarana, that reflects the light of pure consciousness, Atman, through Chidabhasa, to help us navigate the world. Simply put, mind is the seat of our thoughts, continuous flow of thoughts. From a Vedantic perspective, we say thoughts in a state of volition. Sankalpa vikalpatmakaha manaha. Mind perceives the objects of the world, goes out through the senses, and we all know if the mind does not back the sense organs, then they cannot receive any stimuli by themselves. And when the mind is in a state of decisiveness, we call it the intellect. Nischayatmika buddhi. I've shared this example before, those who are regular to this class. Like we are sitting in a traffic light. All of us have gone through this many times. And it would have turned red, and you would be sitting there. Eyes are wide open. Somewhere along the way, the light has turned green, but our mind has gone somewhere else. Until you hear a honk from the driver behind, suddenly you wake up and the mind becomes alert. And you say, oops, and start driving. So, like that. So, from a Vedantic perspective, we say there are four aspects to this antakarana. The first aspect is the mana, the indecisive, wavering mind. Should I attend this Vedanta class or should I not attend this Vedanta class? Indecisive. Then buddhi or intellect decides, the determining faculty, the decision maker, and then there is chitta. Chitta is the memories of the past, like a memory bank, a repository of vasanas. Then there is the fourth aspect called ahankara, the illusory I. Aham karta iti ahankara. That owns up these thoughts that I am doing it. I am. I am the doer. I am the enjoyer. So we also know from our Vedanta studies so far that mind is a part of the Sukshma Sharira or subtle body, also known as Linga Sharira, that signifies life in the body. And these impressions carried on from life to life, one life to the next life, and so on. So, as the thought, so is the mind. If there are no thoughts, there are no vagaries of the mind. We experience that every night in our deep sleep. No thoughts. Even if there is a single thought that I am sleepy that still persists, you are not asleep. So, this human mind has three inherent problems. According to Vedanta, there are three inherent problems. The impurities of the mind, the restlessness of the mind, and then there is the ignorance of the self. We call this in Vedanta as mala, vikshepa, and avarana. See, in our day to day activities, we meet so many people. We come across so many situations. Through the mind, using the organs of perception, we perceive things, and through the organs of actions, we do perform our actions. So, at every moment, we perceive an object, interpret a situation, and typically follow it with a response. And the actions get a result. If the results meet my expectations, I am happy. Although temporarily, but I am happy. If the results does not meet my expectations, my mind is sad. If the results does not meet my expectations many times, I am dejected. I am depressed. I am even angry. I may be even jealous of the one who achieved that result. Then the question comes, what is motivating these actions the way I think? Vedanta says they are prompted by our inherent tendencies, and we call it as vasana anusari jivana. Vasana anusari jivana. These inherent tendencies, what they do, they manifest in the form of likes and dislikes. They're called as raga, dvesha. So when we say the more we act, the more we react based on our inherent tendencies, according to our vasanas, the stronger they get. We might have seen in a banyan tree these secondary roots They become so strong. Yeah, the monkeys are hanging around it. If you go to India, you see those. They are stronger than the primary roots. Like that. So, what is this pure mind? Shuddha mana. What is this impure mind? Ashuddham. Simply put, pure thoughts make it pure, impure thoughts make it impure mind. Simple as that. A sorrow mind filled with stress, filled with depression, tension, anger, dejection, negative attitudes. That mind is impure. That mind is restless. That mind is agitated. A pure mind is always content, cheerful, happy, steady, calm, attentive, very focused. So, the quality of a person's mind is determined by the balance of the three gunas, the sattva, rajas, and tamo guna. When sattvic qualities are dominant, mind has clarity, mind has purity, calmness, because it has wisdom. This is the ideal state for spiritual growth. When rajas is dominant, there is restless activity, passion, desire prompted activities, selfish activities. What does it lead to? It leads to distraction and attachment. When the dominance is of the tamasic qualities, mind has inertia, laziness, alasya, dullness, lethargy, ignorance. So, the quality of the thought textures, the impure mind is always filled with desires, fanciful imaginations, yatha drushti, tata srushti. Meaning, based on our likes and dislikes, raga dvesha, and our perceptions, the world as such appears before us. Just like the TV in the olden days, at least, they used to have what we call it a CRT tube, the cathode ray tube, to project the pictures. CRT. Like that, this mind, through this SRT tube, Sattva Raja Tamo Guna tube, projects this world. It determines how we perceive and interact with the world and the beings in it. It determines the thought textures. An often quoted verse is Manayeva Manushyanam Karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Bandhaya vishaya saktam muktair nirvishayam smrutam. Swami Vidyaranya, he was the head of the Sringeri Mutt. He used the padlock example, lock and key. And mind, he says, is that key for our sadhana. When we turn it outward, if the mind goes outward through the senses, it creates bondage. It leaks through the senses. And what does ahankara do? It owns it up. Then kartritva, bhoktritva kicks in. I am the doer. I am the enjoyer. I am the sufferer. Slowly we are getting caught up in the life of samsara, the bondage. Now we need to remember, why is mind going out? To seek happiness. So that is why even with the festivities and all that we do and other form of entertainment, what do we call it? We call it manoranjan. We call it to entertain the mind, so that I can eke out some little happiness here and there. But as spiritual seekers, our goal is atyantika dukkha nivritti, cessation of sorrow in my life. I do not want dukkham in my life. What do I want? I want happiness. Paramananda prapti. Unlimited happiness. I want unconditional happiness. In order to do that, what do we need to do? We need to do some inner engineering. Kathopanishad says you need to turn this mind inward. Avritta chakshuhu. A lot of you are from Michigan. So you need to take that Michigan U-turn in life. That U-turn, what that does, it takes the mind away from the external pursuit and helps it to contemplate on the higher. And we know from our studies, the scriptures prescribe the three paths. And the first path is the path of action. Karma marga. Karma. Karma gives what? Karma gives karma phala. Results of an action. Meritorious action, if I do, punya karmas give me meritorious results. First of all, we need to remember our actions are finite. Our actions are limited. So obviously, the result, we cannot expect infinite results. We can only expect finite results, limited results. But the attachment created because of that is permanent. See, that is where the problem is. So the first problem is, what did I say? Impurities of the mind. Mala. That can be removed by karma yoga. we need to remember. See, all of us do karma, but upliftment comes only when we turn karma to karma yoga. This is the path of selfless action. Nishkama karma. The educating the mind that I am not the doer. I am doing it for God's sake. I am doing it for the sake of the Lord. What do? Instead of kartru, I become the karana. I become the instrument. I become the nimitta. And through the arpita buddhi, through the samarpana bhava, we turn karma to karma yoga. Meaning, when we dedicate the karmas, every action dedicated to the Lord, it purifies my mind. Chitta shuddhi happens. This is how we divinize our actions. We have seen this in Upadesha Sara, those who have come regularly to the classes, by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. What do we do in that? All obligatory duties. Different phases of life, we have different obligations. Kartavya karmas, they must be performed dedicated to the Lord. Arpita buddhi, performing those as worship of the Lord. Dasya buddhi, Bhagavan, I am your servant, you are my Lord. And all karma phala, whatever the results may be, as his prasada. Prasada buddhi. And while doing this, we recognize that the Lord is the karma dhyaksha. He is the giver of results. In this path, as I said, I become the karana, the instrument of action. His instrument of action. Then there is the bhakti marga, the path of devotion. To divinize all my emotions so that I can eliminate my commotions. To develop that special relationship with the Lord. Then there is the path of Gnana, Gnana Marga, the straight path. No exits. Through the study of scriptures, I understand that ego is not my amigo. I have to let it go. Losing that kartratva, that sense of doership that I am the doer. So one common thing you might notice in all these three paths, what is the commonality? Is that they are all ego diminishing exercises. Softens the ego. In karma yoga, by bringing God into the equation, you are not doing the action, He is doing it through you. In bhakti, we surrender to the Lord. Like Jesus says in the Bible, empty thyself, I shall fill thee. When we surrender to Him through bhakti, When He is pleased with our Samarpana Bhava, He will work through you to bring the joy to the world around you. And in Gnana Marga, the ego, which was edging God out of our lives, the scriptures told us that ID is a fake ID. My real ID, my true nature is that of Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. The happiness that I am seeking is not something outside me. The happiness that I am seeking is not something inside me. It said that is me, my own true nature. Now the intellectual curiosity kicks in with the Shubhecha, but still there are impurities in my intellect. There are habitual tendencies. I am not trained to think this way in my life. There is a doubt, sandeha. So this in Vedanta we call it as pratibandha. Just like the water does not flow clearly when the sink is blocked or the pipe underneath is blocked due to obstruction, our mind will not be able to firmly abide in that self due to this pratibandha, this obstruction. I need repeated, repeated regular shravanam, listening to a competent teacher again and again, doing the scriptural study. Then the veiling power of the intellect, it creates doubts. Is this all possible? Are these concepts? Are these pie in the sky type of concepts? That can only be removed by mananam, constant reflection, convincing the intellect with logical thinking. Yukti, it is called. Does this all make sense? But as we know, there is another hurdle which cannot be removed by just Shravanam and Mananam, as we studied in detail in Viveka Chudamani recently. I have no experience of all this, what you are talking about, this way. And that can only be removed by Nididhyasanam, by the practice of meditation. But where do we start? Just like any other practice, the mind in the right, we need to train this mind. We need to teach this mind to go inward. We need to train that mind for the right thinking. So the first order of business is to negate all our negative thoughts. When a negative thought comes to our mind, we should reject it immediately and totally. First order of business. But that's not sufficient. We have seen it in our studies so far that we need to substitute that with positive thoughts. For every negative thought, We need to flood the mind with creative ideas. Like they say, an idle man's brain is a devil's workshop, right? This helps. What does this do? This helps to keep the negative thought away from our mind with positivity and creativity. So at the end of each day, we need to do an honest introspection daily. At the end of the day, we need to stand apart, watch our thoughts, watch our words, watch our emotions. We need to do an impartial review of ourselves. The key operative word here is impartial. We need to be brutally honest with ourselves. In the beginning, trust me, this is not easy. It may seem even disheartening. It may seem like, I am a saint. This is how mind will play the trick. Nothing is wrong with me. I am an embodiment of perfection. Then you slowly, over a period of time, you will start to discover your weakness. All those impurities will start to bubble up. The fault lines will show. The animalistic tendencies will dissolve. This our Puja Gurudev calls it detection. Once you have discovered these weaknesses, we need to start to negate them. We need to start, as they bubble up, as they surface, start to negate them. This is half the battle. As we negate, the negativity needs to be replaced with positivity, which is also a part of our natural character. This is called substitution. This is the self analysis we ought to do every day. Introspection, introspect daily, detect diligently, negate ruthlessly, substitute wisely. This guidance, what it does, it'll help us to grow steadily, not just spiritually, but in every aspect of life. See, our Puja Guruji called this in Manashodhana. He gives out important spiritual sadhanas for the purification of the mind. मनशुद्धि करनी है साधना निबदंती है यज्ञोदानम तपश्चैव जपस्तीर्थम व्रतस्तथा. He says Vedantic teachers, they prescribe many means to purify the mind. Worshipping of the Lord, charity, dhanam, austerity, japa, taking pilgrimage, doing vratam, taking vows, etc. We'll take one at a time. Yagno dhanam tapaschaiva japaha tirtham vratascha. The term yagna here, when we say immediately, the homa kunda, the picture of a homa kunda, where a fire is being kindled, oblations are being offered with various Vedic chants. This is what we visualize. This our Puja Guruji calls it a very limited understanding of the world. And a lot of us in this group have studied Upadesha Sara. We know In that he says, Jagata Ishadi Yukta Sevanam Ashtamurti Bhrat Deva Pujanam. What is this best form of worship? The best form of worship of the Lord is the service of the world. We say even in our Chinmaya Mission pledge, service of the world is the service of the Lord of the Lords. And devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. Jana Seva is Janardana Seva. We hear this, it is put on all government buildings. The attitude of work as worship, how powerful that can be. When we work in the world, we can serve the world in different ways. We can provide material help to someone who is in need. We can provide intellectual help. We can provide spiritual help to benefit others. Daily worship and prayers. What does this do? It increases the devotion. It increases the concentration of the mind with upasana. And it establishes a personal relationship with the Lord. We have seen many forms in that Navavidha Bhakti we had. Then there is Dhanam, charity. Dhanam is what? To give something without expecting anything in return. That is called Dhanam. And most of the time when we are giving, we want everybody to know. Sometimes in the temple, they need to put my name on that golden brick. The feeling that I have given something, and even expecting a recognition quietly is also not acceptable. Lamenting afterwards in private. So besides giving money, we can share knowledge. We can help in a soup kitchen. Many ideas are there. Volunteer in a non-profit organization. Most important, I feel, taking care of the elderly people. Physical health, emotional health through kind words. That goes a long way. Then we have tapas. Tapas doesn't mean we sit in the cave of Himalayas and do tapas. Tapas includes simple disciplines. Disciplining the mind, getting up early, doing japa, doing meditation, or keeping silent, solitude, maunam, and so on. Tapas is that golden mean, meaning everything in moderation. No excessive indulgence. That way, there is no suppression of thoughts that will help in sublimating the desires. Not suppressing it because it will burst out. Then we have Tirtham, pilgrimage. Tirtha is Taranti Anena Iti Tirtham, that which helps us cross the ocean of ignorance, confusion. Our Puja Guruji calls this greatest Tirtha is in the company of noble people. Satsanga. Whenever that becomes available, whenever there is an opportunity for satsanga, we need to make time. We need to be available. We need to make it priority. That takes away, what that does is, disciplining the mind is, that takes away the excuses, the tricks that the mind plays on us constantly. Think, it happens to every one of us. Mind will suggest excuses that you would never have thought. It'll give you those excuses. Then we have japa, the repetition of the name of the Lord. Then you have vrata. A lot of people do Satyanarayana vrata. Vows to help. All these are discipline. Help increase the willpower. Disciplining the mind again. Vratas are like a time out for the children we do. Because I'm denying any habitual pleasures, any habitual comfort that I give it to please the mind. So there is antaranga sadhana, there is bahiranga sadhana, internal and external. First, most of the time, our mind is not available for us to train. In order to train the mind, first I have to find my mind. Manashodhanam. Because it is always wandering around. It wants to go here, it wants to become that, it wants to be there. Every possible WhatsApp group I want to be in, I want to know what's happening. Then we have to bind that mind. Once we find it, we have to bind that mind. Mano nigraha. Yagna, dana, tapa, vrata. They're all considered disciplines for the purification of the mind. Then concentration of the mind. Chitta ekagrata. For that we have japa. In japa, what do? We give the mind a pratika, a symbol. Then we chant the mantra to give that mind the same thought, similar thought. In Upadesha Sara, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi called it Sajatiya Vritti Pravaha. Similar thoughts, you flood the mind. So in meditation, you can either sit on the ground with an asana, if your knees permit, okay, otherwise don't venture. You sit on a straight back chair with a good posture, contemplating on the symbol of the divinity in front of you. You give it a thought massage for the body to ease the body into the posture. In that ekanta, in that solitude, relax the mind, have the right attitude, have a cheerful attitude. Don't start this 10 minutes before you need to leave for work. It'll cause agitations of the mind. Mentally, first prostrate to your teacher, Guru Vandanam, offer prayers to the Lord, seek His blessings, and then drop all the identities. You can take a one mantra, anything that you know. You can simply say Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Or we can say Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Slowly increase the gap. Or you can simply do Omkara Asana. And then slowly expand the mind. Chitta Vishalata has to happen. Give it broad ideas. From the Nididhyasana shlokas, give it broad ideas to think big. And the mind, that expanded mind, you can withdraw. In step 5, when we say negate the mind, chitta nirodha, that is that mind you can negate. Initially, the mind tends to drift away repeatedly from the point of concentration. To prevent, we can use some external aids. Japamala will be handy. Some people use meditation bells. But the key technique for a Vedantic meditation, we learnt vichara. Vicharam na sahate. Mind cannot stand the test of inquiry. In vichara, how we have developed the habit, it starts with a little bit, a bit, starts with a little bit, then it becomes a habit. But the mind's habitual tendency is anatma vichara. It is accustomed to it. We need to eliminate this by constant contemplation. Nirantara abhyasa. This in Vedanta we call it as nididhyasana. Constant call to the mind to contemplate on the higher. Yoga Shastra calls this dharana and dhyana. Always we need to do a blend. If you feel, you mix it with bhakti, devotional practices, but chintanam has to be on the name of the Lord. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi in Upadesha Sara again, he says, if we want to become a devotee, we need to do 3 things. Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. Pujanam, Japa and Chintanam. Pujanam is Kayika Karma. With that we worship the Lord. Japa sadhana is chanting the name of the Lord. Vachika Karma. Chintanam is meditation, contemplation. We have the body, we have the speech, and we are blessed with a beautiful mind. Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita gives us a similar idea. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyah sarvabhutatma bhutatma purvannapina lipyate. He outlines stages of development. First, doing the right actions as offering to the Lord, acceptance of the results as the gift from God, becoming free from likes and dislikes, raga, dvesha, and its byproducts like greed, anger, jealousy, arrogance, all this. Controlling the mind by not perpetuating any unwanted thoughts, not entertaining any of those, entertaining only good thoughts, subduing our senses, removing all value to the enjoyment, gaining the right understanding. That divinity in me is the divinity in every being. See, we are trying to engage this mind in the contemplation of the higher. It is available for our purpose only when it is happy, calm, cheerful. That mind is available. So we train that mind. We sit there after some practice. It automatically becomes quiet. It becomes our friend. This is mindful living in the waking and mindless in meditation. I hope you caught that play of words. Our Puja Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji, called it effortless awareness of the self. Always remember, we need to watch our thoughts as they become words. We need to watch our words as they become actions. We need to watch our actions as they become our habits. We need to watch our habits as they become our character. We need to watch our character as they become our destiny. And you know where destiny takes us. Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrutyorma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all see auspiciousness. May none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. With that, I'll open it up for our interactive session. Looks like there are a lot of people today. Looks like this is a very popular topic. Uh, so I'm so happy that everybody is able to benefit from that. So please stay back if your schedule permits, and we can have a conversation around it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.